What's going on, guys? It's Clutch Plays here, and today I'm going to be talking about the rules that the NBA need to change and the rules the NBA need to add to make the game better, more enjoyable, and increase the interest of the NBA among others. Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, is extremely open to changing the NBA because he realizes that the game is evolving by the season, and as it evolves, change is needed as well. He has already changed the NBA draft lottery, has the rules in place to change the draft age to 18 to hopefully improve the G League, and is working on doing so much more. However, there are still so many things that need to change in the NBA. There are also numerous ways to make the league better, so let me get right into it. At the end, I will say the one rule that needs to be changed. The changes. First, the NBA needs to have a shorter regular season with more days off. The 82-game regular season is long, and on top of it, there is an extremely long playoffs where some teams are playing over 100 games a season. Since this is the case, many star players sit out more games to get the rest they need to finish the season on a strong note, such as Kawhi Leonard. The league has turned into a players' league, and all the players are in favor of this rule. However, the owners are holding back because they get less money since a shorter season would subtract home games. From a fan's perspective, this would be significantly better because there is a period between 65 to 80 games into the season where it becomes boring because most teams are already solidified into their position in the standings. Getting rid of some of these games and fast forwarding it to the end of the season where things begin to get much more interesting will benefit the viewer and the players. The fans will also benefit from this because with a shorter season where the NBA can get rid of back-to-back games, star players will not rest nearly as many games or even any because of the extra days of rest. The fans will get to see their star players actually playing on television or in person at the game. Now, the owners make so much money off the NBA already. Cutting 4 home games is not the end of the world. This also adds much more of an incentive to winning for owners because if you make the playoffs, you get more home games in the playoffs, and since you receive less home games during the season, these playoff home games will surely make up for it. Also, these playoff home games give you so much money as well because the price of the seats skyrocket, so there should be no problem for this. One solution I came up with is the NBA shortens the season to start by 8 games to a 74-game season, and depending on the feedback from the fans, owners, and players, they can figure out if they want to move the season down to 70 games or move it back up to 82 games. Hopefully moving the season down to 74 games will give the NBA the ability to get rid of back-to-back games, which many older NBA players dread. Next, the NBA playoffs. The NBA playoffs have been so lopsided for the past few years as the Western Conference has been significantly better than the Eastern Conference. The Clippers, who were the 8th seed this year, had the same record as the Indiana Pacers, who were the 5th seed in the East. Also, the talent level of the Western Conference is significantly better than the Eastern Conference, just seen by the All-Star selections where Chris Middleton made it on the East and Devin Booker didn't even make it on the West. Also, Kemba Walker was a starter for the East, and he probably would not have even made the All-Star game if he was in the Western Conference. This shows the talent gap between the West and the East, so the NBA should implement a new playoff system without a conference. They should have the top 16 teams in the NBA with the best record seeded 1 to 16. Past issues with this has been traveling for teams. For example, if the 1-seeded Lakers had to play the 16-seeded Celtics in the first round, the journey would be pretty rough. However, to fix this, the NBA should have a nationally televised event where the top 8 seeded teams get to pick who they play in the playoffs. One representative of each of the top 8 teams would come on to live television and pick the team that they want to go up against and think they can beat in the first round, starting with the top seeded team and ending with the 8th seeded team. This would give, for example, the 1-seeded Lakers the chance to play maybe the 15-seeded Suns instead of having to travel over 2,000 miles to play the Celtics. However, they are taking a small risk by playing a slightly better team, but they would probably take it rather than traveling 2,000 miles. This new change also adds a strategic dimension to it because if a star player like Donovan Mitchell of the Jazz was hurt, but is coming back for the playoffs, if they are the 16th seed, some teams would probably want to shy away from them and pick a different team. Even this year, if this were to occur, I bet the Bucks, Raptors, or Warriors, who were the top 3 seeds, may have chosen the Indiana Pacers, who would have been tied for the 11th seed, because they were without their star player Victor Oladipo. On top of this, tanking at the end of the seasons would stop somewhat because you cannot choose your destiny by losing a game anymore. For example, the Blazers this year benched all their starters in their last game just in hopes to lose so they could avoid playing the Thunder, but it didn't happen and they blew through them anyways. I don't know why they did it. If this rule was implemented, this would have never been the case and and we would be able to see the Blazers stars play for another game rather than seeing their scrubs. This new playoff system would benefit the league because they are completely open to making new high viewership events, and this would get everyone on their feet and extremely excited to see who their favorite team will play in the first round and potentially even in the second and third rounds as well. The NBA All-Star Draft was a hit, so NBA teams calling out other teams as ones that they think they can easily beat, in my opinion, would be so much more enjoyable, and the NBA has to do it. The final change is All-Star Weekend, but I don't want to go too in-depth this video because it would take way too long. But let's just say they need to take it out and replace it with a 3v3 tournament and other fun activities. Tell me if you guys want to see a full video on this, on the changes that the NBA needs to make NBA All-Star Weekend great again. Now, the additions. The 4-point line. The game is constantly evolving and Adam Silver is completely aware of that. Nowadays, people don't enjoy watching people shoot the mid-range and post up compared to sick 360 dunks and deep 3-point shots. The NBA should add a 4-point line that is a foot in front of the logo during the final 5 minutes of every game. During crunch time, teams will be able to get back into the game if they are down by a significant amount of points and make the games much more interesting. Also, the new line creates more chances for players to become heroes, since you can make a buzzer beater to win the game when you're down by 3 points instead of only 2. Or you can tie the game if you're down by 4 points, which would be insane. Shooting is becoming more and more prominent, as some NBA centers need a shot to be successful. One NBA paint beast, Andre Drummond, if he played back in the 90s, maybe he'd be like one of the best players, but now that he's in the shooting era, he really isn't all that effective. He can't even get the Pistons one single game against the Bucks. Since the players of the game are evolving constantly, the game also needs to evolve to fit the players and also what the fans want to see. Finally, I've reached the end of this video, so the one rule that the NBA needs to change is the playoff conferences. If anyone from the NBA is watching, please make this happen because it will be so much more entertaining for all the fans and the teams would enjoy it better as well. There's no downside in this change and it makes it better all around for the NBA. Tell me what you guys think about this rule change and if you think it will be as effective as I think it will be. Also, comment down below if there are any rule changes you guys want to see the NBA complete and that has not been done yet. With that said, I'm out and peace!